Failed auditing with a 62 and regulation with a 68 the first time, and I'm devastated. This is my first time taking the test, and I used Becker. However, I'm not a good test taker, and I'm feeling bad. What should I do with these scores? What do they indicate? They indicate that you had a bad study plan. That's I don't know that you need to add any other materials. That would be disingenuous of me to even suggest that. I don't know. Only if you need, like, another test bank or audio or whatever. You definitely need a better study plan because I'm assuming it's not the material, so it must be your study plan. Or maybe the materials aren't clicking for you. That happens too, but let's assume it's your study plan. We're gonna go back to nailing the concept. The concepts, and spend 3 weeks doing that. We're not gonna do any multiple choice questions. We're gonna take notes while we're doing it. Then we're gonna switch over to MCQ. This is where we do our first questions. We're gonna do MCQs for 2 to 3 weeks. We're gonna take intense while we're doing MCQs, we're taking intense notes. But intense notes is nail the concepts and nonstop MCQ. Then we're gonna spend a week rewriting our notes. You don't have to do it this time around. If you fail again, then you definitely need to rewrite your notes. Highly recommend that you rewrite your notes, and then it all comes together. If you're going only Becker, I guess they have a final review. I would that's when you would use that. If you're using Becker plus Ninja, this is when you'd switch over to the Ninja Cram. And if you add Ninja, since you've already seen a lot of the Becker questions, I presume, then for the nonstop MCQ phase, I would switch to Ninja MCQ this time around because people tend to memorize answers. If you use Ninja MCQ for nail the concepts, then for the all comes together, the final review, then I would do the simulations with Becker and MCQ just so you switch up the materials a bit, all the while you're listening to the Ninja audio. Not that you're going to add Ninja, so you can nail the concepts, intense notes, nonstop MCQ, rewrite your notes, all comes together. You can do that with Becker alone, and that's just fine. Let's see. If you do not have Ninja materials, you can go to ninjacpareview.com/free. You can check out everything I just talked about, all the notes, MCQ. It's got a free practice exam, audio chapters, etc. You can check that out for free. See if you want to add it as a supplement or if you feel like it muddies the waters too much. So, yeah, I was not a good test taker either, and on most of my simulations, I didn't finish. I was a slow test taker. I was an overthinker, and you can't overthink on exam day, and you really have to set a time budget. If you're going past 3 minutes a question or whatever the math is, like, you can't just obsess over, like, especially if it's one of those calculation questions and you can't get any of them to work out, and you're, like, freaking out, "Oh, here we go again." Just pick B or C, move on, and why B or C? One time, I figured it up, and at least with the AICPA release questions, B or C was just slightly favored over the other over A and D. Real scientific. I'll pick B or C and move on. You've got to keep a good pace on exam day. You can have great materials, great study plan, but if you don't budget your time on exam day, you're going to bomb, and it can be a real problem. All right, we're about to wrap up here. So if a question in the chats, let me have it. Susan writes in the Ninja CPA review group on Facebook. So I'm usually a late adopter of technology, which is a bit ironic. And so I finally added a Facebook group for Ninja CPA review, but I only made it for people who are Ninja subscribers, either past or present, or alums who done graduated. The reason for that is because I had another Facebook group and it was full of every type of spam you could think of that wasn't related to the CPA exam. So it's a closed group. Anyway, Susan writes in, "Hi, I'm using Ninja as a supplement for audit. I'm sitting in 3 weeks. Any advice on how to handle MCQs and sims now? I started this weekend going through 30 MCQ at a time and then going back to see what I did wrong. I think I'm still in the evaluation phase. Any advice would be greatly appreciated." Yeah, so you're in the nonstop MCQ phase. And what I would do is, so this is for auditing. So auditing, at least in Ninja, the Ninja book has 14 chapters. And so in the Ninja MCQ test bank, you can select questions by the blueprint, or you can select questions according to the Ninja book, which is by topic. I would do the questions by topic. and I would do 3 sets of 20 in each chapter and take notes. So I would do three sets of 20, and if you're feeling pretty good, move on to the next chapter. Or if you're just clearly smoking the content, then move on. That's what I would do. So I do 3 sets of 20 and just keep going down the line, chapter by chapter. Just some chapters have 500 questions, some chapters have 18 questions, and that's what I would do. If you're scoring well, high 70s, low 80s, and you just finished like your second mini testlet, I would just move on to the next chapter.